Jim Acosta and against CNN, and this is the judge agreeing with that in part.
Yes, and at times this judge, a Trump appointee, seemed to emphasize the limited nature of his ruling. It seems he does not want to say completely that this is a CNN, that CNN is in the clear here. This is going to be a legal battle, as Jeffrey is saying. Our colleagues in the courtroom are sharing some quotes from the judge that I'll share here. Marshall Cohen, Jessica Schneider, David Shortell at the courthouse. They said, the judge says, I want to emphasize the very limited nature of today's ruling. I have not determined that the First Amendment was violated here. I have not determined specific nature of First Amendment interest in this case. But the headline here is that the temporary restraining order has been granted. That means Acosta's press pass is returned right away and will at least be in his hands for a short period of time while these underlying legal arguments are determined.
So Jeffrey, you then go to the bigger case. Emergency relief was granted. He has it now, but there will still be a court proceeding here. Both sides will make arguments. The same judge will then make a larger decision down the road?
Not yet.
On permanent relief.
But I mean, I guess the ball is really now in the White House's court. They have to decide. Now, in a sane world, I think, what would happen is Jim Acosta would have a meeting with the White House communications director, and the director would say, let's knock it off. Let's lower the temperature here. Let's behave like adults, and then the whole thing.
That's
would
the
be
same
dropped.
world.
That's the same world.
Let's dismiss the same
Right?
world.
Yeah. That's how this would operate in a rational
Here's
world.
a question I have to both of you on that front. Even if that's the case, and
Yes.
even if that solves the issue between Jim Acosta, and CNN and the White House on this front, this is again a bigger case, Jeffrey. This is a case about whether any White House or any administration has the right, the Fifth and First Amendment right to do this. So shouldn't it be a case that ultimately is decided big picture?
Well, not necessarily, because the next step, as I understand the preliminary ruling, is that the White House has to either drop the whole thing and, patch things up, or establish clearer rules about what justifies the removal of a hard pass and how the accused hard pass abusers are allowed to defend themselves.
Right. He's focused on the Fifth Amendment. He's saying it's all about due process.
Yes.
He's not ruling on the First Amendment right now. It's almost as if this judge begrudgingly is giving this press pass back, but knows he has to follow the law, follow the precedent that goes back to the 1970s, the Sherrill case, which says if you're going to deny someone a press pass, you've got to have a really specific reason, and in practice that means a threat to the president's life.
And if I can just add one point, I mean, all of us, including me, are often cynical about judges, and we say he's a Trump appointee, and as if that's the answer to all the questions. This strikes me as an extremely savvy and wise resolution of this case. I mean, this is a way of sort of preserving Jim Acosta's right to do his job and CNN's right to cover the news, which is of course paramount in our view, but also telling the White House, you have a right to maintain decorum and discipline,